Dr. David Wilt.
Thank you. Good afternoon, and as Christopher said, welcome to the third film in the Mexican spotlight for the RiverRun International Film Festival. Today we're going to see a very powerful film, El Lugar Sin Límites, title sometimes translated to The Place Without Limits, or The Place with No Boundaries, or actually the videotape that I have in English language called Hell Has No Limits. You'll see the beginning of the film has a quote from Marlowe's play Dr. Faustus, and that's where they get the title of this particular film from. As I mentioned yesterday when I was introducing the first film in this series, Maria Candelaria, in 1994 a panel of Mexican film critics and historians and filmmakers chose the top 100 Mexican films of all time up to that point in 1994, and El Lugar Sin Límites was chosen number 9 on that list. So it's very, very highly regarded in Mexico in terms of film history and its significance and artistic quality. Los Olvidados, another film that's going to be shown here at RiverRun this year, was ranked number 2, in fact. Before the film begins, I'll mention a few points of interest, and then after the movie we may have a chance to chat a bit afterwards, after you've seen it for yourself, if you have any particular questions or comments to make on it. El Lugar Sin Límites was directed by Arturo Ripstein. It was one of a new generation of Mexican filmmakers who got their start in the mid-1960s. Ripstein was arguably the most successful and certainly the most durable of this group of men, since he continues to direct movies today and has achieved a considerable amount of international acclaim for his films, although ironically in the past couple of decades his reputation or his acceptance in Mexico has certainly declined both critically and commercially, and so he is sort of the quintessential prophet without honor in his own land, even though he is well received in France, Spain, Italy, etc., etc. Ripstein was born in 1943. He was the son of a film producer, and as a teenager he would hang around the film studios and watch people direct like Louis Buñuel. In fact, he was Buñuel's sort of uncredited assistant on The Exterminating Angel. Because his father was a movie producer, Ripstein actually got to direct his first feature film when he was like 21 years old. In 1965 he made a Western called Tiempo de Morir, Time to Die, based on a story by Gabriel Garcia Marquez, who later went on to become a very, very famous literary figure. Since then, Ripstein has maintained a steady pace, directing more than 24 features as well as a number of documentaries, shorts, and television programs. Recurring themes in his films, and you'll see some of these today, are family relationships, sex, power, and all of those, of course, are sort of intermingled and have relationships with each other. El Lugar Sin Límites won Mexico's equivalent of the Oscar. It was called the Ariel Awards, as the best film, actually tied with another film. And acting prizes went to Roberto Cobo, who was the star of the movie, and supporting actress Lucha Villa, you'll see, and Gonzalo Vega won Best Supporting Actor. The cast of this film features several performers from the golden age of Mexican cinema, which was late 1930s, 40s, into the early 1950s. Notably, Fernando Soler, who plays Don Alejo. He was an important actor and director who had literally hundreds of film credits from the silent era right up until just after this film. He died in 1978, so this film was made in 1977. You'll also see Emma Roldan, who was in many, many famous Mexican films from the 30s, 40s upward. She plays crusty old ladies, and in this movie she plays a crusty old lady. And Roberto Cobo himself, who is the star of the film. Cobo was born in 1930, and he began acting and dancing in films in the late 1940s. He first became sort of famous by appearing in Los Olvidados by Louis Buñuel, and he continued his career up until he died just a few years ago. He won an Ariel Award, as I said, for El Lugar Sin Límites. He also won an Ariel Award as Best Juvenile Performer for his part in Los Olvidados. However, this cast also includes a number of newer performers, and newer is relative in Mexican cinema. This film was made in '77, but the newcomers, most of them began appearing in films in the 1960s. They include Ana Martin, who plays La Japonesita. She specialized in sort of waif-like figures, and you'll see that here. And shortly after this film, she became very, very popular in Mexican soap operas, telenovelas. Gonzalo Vega, who specialized in sort of brutish macho figures, and in this film he plays a brutish macho figure. Comic actress Carmen Salinas, who in recent years has sort of reinvented herself and has a talk show on Mexican television where she's sort of like Oprah or people like that. And singer-actress Lucha Villa, and actor and film director Julian Pastor.